Hello Year 2. Do you know what clothes Victorian children used to wear? Not sure? Did you know that some Victorian children, even aged 6, had to go to work instead of school? Carry on watching this video and you'll find out more. So we're looking at Victorian children and their clothing. Now, in Victorian times, there was quite a big difference between the wealthy, rich families and the very poor families. So rich girls from wealthy families, would wear long, luxurious dresses, very lavish, you can see here, with lots of frills and ribbons. Here again, you can see the ribbons on the dresses. And if they were going out, they would wear bonnets on their head. They were decorated with either maybe feathers, flowers or fur. Their hair was usually tied back. It's not here, but usually formal. It was quite formal and it was scooped back or plaited back. You can see that in some of these drawings here. And the dresses would go right up to the neck. So they were quite high. The dress line went right up to the neck. The fashion was to wear lace-up boots, and also some girls would wear hoops under their dresses, like this in this picture here, and that would make the dresses puff out like this. They would wear lots of petticoats underneath as well, but the hoops were worn to make the dresses puff out. Now, boys from wealthy families would wear their hair usually parted in a side parting, and they also wore lace-up boots. And their trousers, they wore special trousers called breeches, which are short length trousers that come just below the knee. You can see here in this picture here, it's got little buttons along the side. And they would wear little jackets, and underneath they would wear a white collared shirt. And you can see that here, very large collars. You can see there, and you can see here as well. And they would wear a little tie underneath, and it wasn't like a school tie shape. It was like a little bow. It would be either a ribbon or a piece of linen or a piece of material. This one's a large scarf, you can see. This is quite small, this one, and this is more of like a bow there. Now, the interesting thing about the boys, wealthy boys, is that when they were very young, when they were toddlers, so up to about the age of 3, they were dressed in dresses and skirts, and their hair was very long. So they did actually look like girls. And you can see here, these are actually 2 boys. And I know that because I think this picture here is of an old president of the United States. And you can see they're both wearing skirts or dresses, and it was just the regular done thing. That's what families did. The boys wore dresses up to the age of about 2 or 3, and they had their hair long, and then it got cut short as they grew older. Now, another popular fashion to wear among wealthy children was sailor suits, and they'd often be seen going out on special occasions all dressed up in sailor suits, and they'd be white dresses or smocks or trousers with blue, or the vice versa. So maybe blue with white stripes. Now, Victorian school children didn't really have a uniform as such, but a lot of the girls had to wear white pinafores over their dresses to keep them clean. You can see that in this picture here. And the boys would wear their white collared shirts underneath a jacket. You can see that displayed here in this picture and also in this one. And if you look closely, you can see that all the children are wearing those lace-up boots. Some of the older boys would wear caps, and you can see that in these drawings here. The teachers, you can see those bonnets on the teachers here, and also this teacher down here has got a top hat on his head. Now, if you were a girl at the beginning of the Victorian times, you weren't allowed to go to school. And you would, if you were from a wealthy family, you would stay at home and you would learn to sew and maybe play the piano or flower arrange if you're from a wealthy family. But if you're from a poorer family, you might be sent off to work in a big mansion house, so you, as a servant. So you can see some very young pictures here. These are of Victorian girls who worked as servants. But as I said before, Victorian families that were poor had quite a tough time, especially the children. And the children, a lot of them didn't even have shoes. And if their parents fell ill and couldn't look after them anymore, they were sent to workhouses and they were made to work. So they didn't go to school. And when girls were eventually allowed to go to school, which was in the 1850s, it was only wealthy children that went because you'd have to pay to go to school. So children from poorer families were sent out to work. Now, you might have become a chimney sweep and be sent up to clean the chimneys. You can see he's got no shoes on there. You might be sent to work in factories on big loom machines, or sent out on the streets to sell matches and other products, or you might be sent to work at a farm. But it was very hard work, and children fell ill a lot as well. Fortunately, in 1870, the laws changed, and it meant that every child had the chance to go to school for free. And so they stopped putting children to work in the factories, and they were able to go to get an education at school. So you can see these children all going to school. So what I'd like you to do today is we're going to draw some Victorian clothing for children. Now, in the learning pack, there is a template, and I would like you to draw clothes for a wealthy child and a poor child. This is the template here. So have a go, try and label it, use all the words that you've learnt from this video. And then afterwards in the learning pack, there's a quick quiz sheet. See if you can answer that as well. So you're going to design clothing for a wealthy child and a poor child. And now you can print off the template, or you can draw it yourself by hand. And then look back on the video. There's lots of pictures there of Victorian children, and choose the outfits that you want to draw. You can do girls. I've added in some things into that one. And I've used labels. So you'll need a ruler, and then you're going to label the clothes that you've drawn. Or you can do boys. I've done a chimney sweep there, and I've added in a hoop. Again, you can use pencils, crayons. You don't even have to, you can just draw the basics if you want to. And then once you've done that, if you've got time, have a little go at doing the quiz.